guys, how's it going? Alright, we're doing bike talk. We've got Tynan here. Tynan is a local bloke, a young fella,
Bendigo,
27. And we were just talking, saying I think he's most probably the youngest bloke that we've got on the bike talk. And holy shit, would you bloody look at this. Crazy, we've never had anything like this.
a little bit different for you.
Yeah, absolute crazy. So before we get into the bike, so what do you? It's a bit top secret, so we're going to be a little bit shady.
Shady's great.
Yeah, that's it. So he works for a particular company that we can't mention. Contractor, and he's unlike what you would think. He's an IT man, so he plays with computers and tickles CD-ROMs and all that kind of stuff.
Which it wouldn't look like.
No,
it's mysterious. It's deceptive.
Yeah, that's it. All right. So this is crazy. Oh, and you'll be seeing photos popping up as we're doing this. I said to Tynan, do you have any photos of before and during that you actually built this bike? Anyway, straight up, boom, he sends this thing through, and I was like, holy shit, 400 bloody photos, over 400 photos of just the whole thing. So I know he has totally stripped this bike from nothing.
Threw it to bits.
Yeah.
Threw everything everywhere.
Yeah, crazy. So, where'd you get the bike?
So I bought the bike from a guy in Melbourne. I decided that I really wanted. I've always been interested in Harleys. My dad's into Harleys, and I decided I actually bought a Harley a few years ago. I bought a '98 Sportster Sport, just an Evo Sportster.
Yep.
And I love that bike. They're great. You hop on them, you ride them. You don't have to do anything. They're just so low maintenance. They're like a dirt bike, really. But I decided I wanted something else. I wanted a project. I wanted something that I could learn on. I wanted something to really learn some skills. So I started looking, and I found this sort of Harley, which is they're commonly known as an Ironhead. So this is the 60s, 70s Sportster. Yep. And I found this one on Instagram.
On Instagram?
Yeah. So there's a couple of chopper buy, swap and sells on Instagram, Aussie ones.
Yeah.
And I found this bike on there, and I think he had 6 on it. Yeah. I think I got it for 5 or 5.5, something around there.
Yeah.
And
here's a photo of it while he's talking.
we went and had a look, and I'll be honest, I didn't know a lot about it.
Yeah.
Didn't know what I was in for. Didn't know the pain and suffering that would ensue. But nevertheless, I bit the bullet and I bought it off him. Great guy, Nate. It was funny. He had the bike in its former state, which Mark will show you.
Yeah.
He built it like that for his girlfriend. And then they split up.
Yeah.
And he had a pink Harley and memories of a rougher past.
Yeah.
So he didn't want it anymore. So I bought it off him. And the idea was to put it in the shed and leave it. And, when I had some money, when I had the time, come back to it at a later date. That probably lasted 8 months. And then I just couldn't help myself.
Yeah.
Because it was rough. And you'll see that. Yeah. The cylinders looked like they'd just been pulled out of a dam. Because there's obviously an iron head, so if they're not coated, they will rust really badly.
Oh, so that's why they're called an iron head?
Yeah.
Because of the cylinders?
Yep, so the cylinders and the heads are both cast iron.
Oh,
so they if they're not coated, if they're not painted, they will go really nasty.
Yeah.
And that's what this had, and I really didn't like it.
Yeah.
So, and my idea was actually just to get the bike back on the road.
Yeah.
That was my original plan. Just get it back on the road, do the minimum, just so I could ride it.
Yeah.
But then a friend of mine, my best friend, he bought another one, and he went, "Hey man, I just bought 2 hardtails from America, so we better cut your bike in half." and that's just how it went. So we sort of built 2 bikes together. And
right. So this wasn't a hardtail.
No. So this was a swing arm bike. It had been converted to a disc bike, so this was originally a drum rear.
Yep.
So it had a disc front, but it was a drum rear, but that had been converted, so it had a disc swing arm on it and stuff.
Hang on, I've got to stop. I'm looking at this bike and as you're talking, I'm looking at things and I'm going, the chain is the disc brake.
Yeah, so it's called a sproter.
A sproter.
A sprocket rotor. Yeah.
Wow.
So your disc and your drive are on the same side.
Oh, I've never seen that. Yeah,
a lot of
that's
people
crazy.
have it. It blows people away.
Yeah.
So we actually had the rotor mount, the rotor mount on this side machined off the hub.
Yeah.
So you get a really nice finish this side. When you look at the bike, you don't even see the old rotor mount on it. So, and yeah, that was the look I wanted. Being a chopper, we wanted to go as minimalistic as possible.
Yeah.
You know, strip everything off it that it didn't need. So, and that was one of the things. We went, let's put all of it on that side.
Yeah.
And before you ask, no, it's not great.
No, yeah. Bit like drum brakes on a postie bike.
Yeah. You wouldn't think discs could be so bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's crazy.
So,
All
yeah.
right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to grab you guys. I'll just tell them about this hard. Here we go. Rightio. So what? Tell the guys what the hell you've gone and bloody done here. So this is a rigid mount.
Yeah, so originally this had a fender support that extended back to about here.
Yep.
Had another bolt here, and then you'd run a fender, and then further down in the frame you'd have your swing arm mechanism bolted down. What we've done here is this is a lowbrow customs hardtail, a loop hardtail.
Yep.
And basically this comes with everything you need to bolt it straight to the frame, with the
So-
exception of shortening a fender support.
Yeah, right. So it's bolted there, and then.
And then you've got 4 bolts down the bottom as well.
Oh, yeah.
That master cylinder.
Yep. Yeah, right. That's crazy. And you were saying that that makes it longer.
Yeah, so basically this hardtail actually has about 4 inches of stretch. So the overall length of the frame will be about 4 inches more than what it was, which is actually how we've been able to run a true twin exhaust. So traditionally these, and most Harleys, you'll see both exhausts on the A side of the bike, the right-hand side of the bike. But when we got to this stage of we need to build an exhaust for the bike, my best friend said, let's try something different and run the pipe through the frame and out the other side, so we've got that proper three twins pointing up in the air. So
Yeah, no, that's cool.
this was done by a local guy who I really like, Adrian at Motion Exhaust.
Yep.
Highly recommend those guys. Absolutely awesome. They did a fantastic job.
So did they do all this?
So they did all the stainless exhaust. They did all the
Put
fab.
the whole thing together.
Yep, they did the whole thing. So the only bit that I gave them was I had a set of stock headers. So that I had stock header pipes. So I had the stock header,
Yep.
and then they copied that and made a new set of headers to suit.
Right.
So I sort of gave them a template.
But yeah, they've done the whole deal.
Yep. So then they made the mounting tabs. They made it run and whatnot, and and then I got these. The mufflers are from Modern Motorcycle, just on the net.
Yep.
I love the British style muffler. I think they make a chopper look really great.
Yeah.
So I wanted the cocktail shaker mufflers on it. So yeah, that's that.
Cool. So, hardtail.
Yes.
Normally, you see like bobbers and stuff like that.
They got a spring seat.
They got a spring seat. This
No.
thing does not have.
No.
You were saying that your tyre is your suspension.
Exactly. So I run it. I'm a light fella, so I can run it probably a bit lower than a lot of guys.
Yep.
I'm only about 70 kilo.
Yeah.
So I run about 16 pound in the tyre. Once it gets hot, it probably goes up to a bit more. Probably goes up.
So what you're saying 16 pounds. So when you say 16 pound, that's PSI.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like a dirt bike tyre.
Yeah.
Almost, you know? And I'll admit, it's a very interesting feeling. When you've ridden on the road for years, the feeling of no suspension and your suspension's the tyre is very different because you get that floating. It's kind of like a car without shock absorbers in it.
Yeah,
It's very,
yeah.
You know, it sort of bounces around a bit naturally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually find it really great. The seat was done with a high density foam that's actually really comfortable.
Yep.
So that was done again, another local guy, Ash Eames, A&H Trim out in Lockwood.
Oh, right. Yep.
I had the seat pan made, but he did all the foam work, all the trim. That was all him. So he did a fantastic job.
Just looks cool as shit.
Rightio, so let's go through some stats. Oh, well, yeah, I've got. Remember to. I want to show the guys the fuel tank.
Yep.
The
fuel's the sight gauge.
Yeah, but
It's
what
like
would you call it if it wasn't a sight gauge? Because that's what it is. It's a sight gauge. Yeah. What do you?
Trip meter.
Not trip meter, no. A fuel meter, no. What do you call it?
Fuel gauge.
Fuel gauge.
Tip of your tongue.
Yeah.
It's alright. I was like, does he mean a fuel gauge?
Yeah. The fuel gauge.
Yep.
All right. So, what size motor is it?
So it's 1,000 cc's.
1,000 cc's.
Yep.
Jesus. All right.
Yep.
Cool.
So
She gets up and goes.
for an older bike, yeah, it's
Yeah.
A very different experience. So these are a 4-speed. So
Yeah.
you don't have that extra
right.
gear that we're all sort of
Yeah,
used to.
yeah.
But the motor was fully rebuilt as well. We these motors are notorious for being unreliable.
Yep.
I'll say it nicely. So I didn't want to deal with that. So I had the motor fully rebuilt by a young guy in Melbourne.
Yep.
Jack Treese is his name. Formerly Treese Race Engineering. Now he's taken on his dad's footsteps. His dad passed away a few years ago, and his dad was the sort of the godfather of Ironheads in Australia. Used to race them around Phillip Island and stuff.
Yeah.
There's video of what's his name? One of the Isle of Man races.
Guy Pearce?
Nah, is it something with C?
Not Guy Pearce. That's a bloody. That's wrong.
Something
Guy Martin is who I was thinking of. But
not
yeah,
Guy.
I know.
I love Guy.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Not Guy. Something start with. Is it Colin or something?
I don't know. The guys will be bloody.
They'll be straight onto it. Yep. Anyway, there's video of him riding some of Treese's Ironheads around the track, and he said they were just lethal.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Jack's taken on that as a new company, so I think he's now Race Lab.
Yep.
And yeah, so he did the Ironhead for me, and it was top to bottom. We didn't want to. A lot of guys pistons, rings, give it a freshen up, and that'll be right. I didn't want to do that. I thought while it's out, let's split the cases, balance the flywheels, new bearings, new con rods, new pistons, bored out 50 thou. The gearbox is all re-shimmed and checked. Brand new clutch, new carby, lifters, push rods, the works. We made sure that we replaced it.
Should be right for another 1,000k.
Yeah, well, at least. I'd be devastated if it did. It'd be the dearest 1,000 Ks you've ever ridden. I'll put it that way.
Yeah. Can I ask how much that costs?
It
had to be bloody.
I think the machine work alone was probably about 5,000.
5,000.
Yeah. They're actually. It's funny. They're probably one of the most expensive Harley motors to build.
Yeah.
Because they're a bit left of field. Sportsters are girls' bikes.
Yeah.
So a lot of the guys don't fully support them.
Yeah.
And then compared to a big twin Harley, what they call a big twin, these got 4 camshafts. So the big twins are a single cam.
Yeah.
Some of the later ones are a twin cam, but yeah, most of the early stuff this age, they were single cam. So you've got a bit more stuff in there.
Yeah.
I think cams were $700 by the time you get them out of the States.
Oh, really?
And
Yeah,
it added up really quickly.
Yeah.
Did I go over budget?
Hell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
All right, we won't talk any more about the motor. So what size front wheel is that?
So that's a 21-inch front wheel.
Oh, so you could go off-road on it.
Yeah. Well, and the rear's an 18.
Oh, that's it. That's perfect.
It's set up. This is set up with the same wheels as my YZ.
Yeah, right.
The YZs are a bit thicker though.
Yeah.
They're a bit wider. So, because I think the rear's 3.5 or 3.5 inch wide, 4 inch wide. The front's 2.5 inch wide.
Yeah.
So they're very thin tyres, and that's all to get that
You want it thin and you want it tall too.
Yeah,
you want
skinny
to
and
get
tall.
Yeah.
That sort of lane splitter Harley idea, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. The tanks are what size tank?
I think it's about what is it? It's like 2.1 gallons, something like that. So it's like 8 litres.
Yeah.
How far would I get? not far.
No.
No.
You've never tested it fully?
Not yet.
Yeah. Because you've only done, what'd you say?
It's nearly 200 Ks.
200 Ks
so
on
far
it,
on the bike.
Yeah.
The build was very accelerated.
Yeah.
It was a 10-month build basically.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, from what all those photos and stuff that I've seen, that's impressive.
It was full on, and because I haven't done anything like this, you don't sort of appreciate at the time how long you need. So there were a few times there where it was easier to go home from work and sit and do nothing.
Yeah.
When really I should have been jamming on this. So you know, the deadline come very quickly and passed.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got there in the end, and a lot of that is just my inexperience. You know, like I said to you before, I'd never broken a chain before.
Yeah.
I've never done wheel bearings. I've never pulled a front end out of a bike. I've never pulled an engine out of a bike.
Yeah.
So for me, not only did we have to learn how to, everything's imperial, so you need to learn another set of tools. I'm a young guy. I've only had metric stuff. Yeah. So for me to go, is that half or 9/16?
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I don't either. So that was a lot of it's just that kind of thing, you know. And even here in Australia, you buy a set of tools, and what we found with this, my best friend and I, we've got a thing with this, is we can never find a 5/32 Allen key. In all the little packs you get of 13 Imperial Allen keys, there's never 5/32, and that's what my tank mount bolts are, my sissy bar mount bolts are. So it's really annoying, and it's some, you know, you need a ball end, and you need a T-handle, and you need a right angle, and it's actually hard to get that stuff here. So building one of these here can be challenging for odd reasons, like not the normal thing you would think.
Yeah.
So that was probably the hardest part. I think if I did it now, I'd know the traps, the things to look out for, you know.
Well, that's always the way, isn't
it?
I mean, once you've done it, takes you
half as long, or
that's it.
Yeah.
I was going to say, if something takes you 100 hours, the second time you go to do it, it's going to take you 50 hours.
Yeah. And if it doesn't, you're doing something wrong.
Or you're a bloody numbskull.
Exactly.
Which I can be at times. Don't worry.
I'm the same, man. There was a lot of times with this where I'd spend a couple of hours trying to do a simple thing. My best mate would walk in, and just because he hasn't been there arguing with the bike, one-sided argument.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't been there arguing, he'd just go, "Oh, dude, swap the spaces around," and all of a sudden,
boom,
it's together, and you feel like a.
Nay does that. She'll walk in, and she'll go, "Why don't you put it that way?" Exactly the same thing that you just said, and that's what the second set of eyes.
Yep. Yeah, second set of eyes. 100% you need it for this.
Yeah.
Especially with this level, because we're at the point now where a lot of the parts, probably 70% of the bike is bespoke.
Yeah.
You can't, I mean, to begin with, you can't go to a Harley dealership and go,
no.
Have you got base gaskets for a 74 Ironhead? No, they don't. It's not something they stock. So, you know, you've got to accept that if you need something for this, you're probably going to be waiting.
Yeah.
So, the amount of orders we did to America, you know, waiting on US freight and the money, just the money on postage, man. It'd make me sick to think. I haven't totaled it. I don't want it.
I don't think you want it. Yeah.
I really don't want to.
So that's air cooled?
Yes. Yep. So
what's
completely
the deal?
air cooled.
So this is the oil.
Yep. So they're a dry sump.
Right.
So a dry sump. So instead of like a lot of the Japanese bikes are,
oil's down the bottom.
Oil's in the sump. So you've got a sump like a car. These, you've got oil in a tank.
Yep.
And then what you've got, the engine has a bit of like a check valve.
Yep.
So once you've got an oil pump, obviously, so you've got a direct feed to your oil pump, and when your oil pump goes, it starts pulling that oil through, and then basically you sort of get your engine will be full of oil, and you'll still have an amount in the tank, obviously, because it's circulating through. So so these are technically air cooled and oil cooled. Yeah. So your oil's helping that. So, which is why I actually want an improvement that I'd like to make, because they're stainless pipes. they radiate a lot of heat.
Oh.
So as you can see, I've had to put a...
I noticed that there.
And that's an interesting
And
spot for a heat shield.
You're not going to hit your leg on that.
No,
part.
so that heat shield is there because the pilot ride for this bike found my ass got so hot through the seat.
Through
The seat because all the heat was just rising straight up to the bottom of the seat. And I thought that's where my electrics are as well. So I really wanted to, get rid of that idea of the heat hiding up there.
So what's going to be your plan? Is
So
that's it?
that heat shield has absolutely gotten rid of it.
Oh,
So,
has it?
Yeah,
Oh,
incredible.
right.
So that just dissipates the heat out the sides, and because you're riding, where that comes out, then you've got that difference in air pressure that will actually push it past the bike.
Yeah.
So that's made an incredible difference.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, I'd like to do the same thing around the other side, because what I'm finding is the pipes are just heating the oil tank up.
Oh,
So where your oil's meant to be helping cool you down, it's just heating the oil up.
Yeah,
So,
right.
but like I said, this is what would you say? Traps for beginners.
Yeah.
Stuff that.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to. I'll tell you all the silly things that we've done and stuffed up. There was tons of things on this that we didn't think about or didn't realise.
You're building a bike to how you want it.
Yeah.
Bike manufacturers spend millions of dollars in
Oh.
R&D, and that's what you're
And
doing.
hundreds of engineers. And
that's
I'm
it.
not going to tell anyone that this is, the things that I've made for it are the best, or I haven't done shear tests and all that kind of thing, but they were.
Yeah.
Which is, similar to what you would do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a mechanic. I just tinker.
Yeah.
I like to tinker.
Yep.
And this is basically born of that idea that strip everything off it and, make what you can out of it.
Yeah, that's it. All right, I'm going to show you this, the fuel gauge.
The how to make a fireball while you're riding, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen this in the pictures. It's bloody awesome. So you bought this as a kit.
Yeah. So you get.
So what was that? The crowd?
Lowbrow Customs in America. So they do all kinds of chopper stuff. Chopper, bobber, old stuff, new stuff, pretty well anything. So you buy this as a kit. So you actually get the weld-in bungs. These guys here. You get the fittings, the bungs and the fittings, and then you get a length of sort of translucent fuel line as well.
Yeah.
So that was done. That was fitted by a good mate of mine, Sean. He's got a business called Bar None Moto over in Ballarat. He also hand built the bars, hand built the sissy bar, mounted the fender, made the seat pan. What else did he do? Made the oil tank mount. So he did sort of a lot of the...
right, yeah.
Because I'm not a TIG welder.
Yeah.
I'd love to be. And the problem with... I can use a MIG, but the problem with a bike like this is you see everything.
Yeah, exactly.
You see these welds, and I didn't want to do it and not do justice to it. So, and he's got a lot more experience in that.
So he made
these.
Yeah,
from
yeah.
scratch?
Yep, so he made them from scratch. So I basically said to him that I wanted an old school style, skinny, pull back, 2-bend bar.
Yep.
And he sort of played around with, he bent up some single bars and we sort of sat them on the bike, worked out where we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
Same with the tank. So originally these are mounted through the frame. We sort of moved the tank up and down the backbone, worked out where we wanted.
Oh, right, yeah.
And then drilled the frame, welded bungs in to bolt the tank where we wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So, because this is actually much longer than a factory Sportster tank.
Oh, right.
It's very long and narrow, which I liked. I love that crazy look of it,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he did all that for me. He also modified the hardtail itself. So the hardtail itself was actually originally designed for a drum brake.
Oh,
Obviously, when you go disc, you don't need the mount for the drum. So you've got a pivot, basically.
Yep.
And we didn't need that. So he actually got rid of that on the other side. Then we had to re-engineer a way to adjust the axle. Because these used to be on this side of the hardtail, in here.
Yep.
And what we had was then that fouled on the caliper for the sproder. So
the old Sproder!
So we had to re-engineer a way to adjust the back wheel, because you, being a chain, you need that adjustment. So you just it's pretty tight.
Yeah.
Let it stretch and then you're right from there.
Yeah, I'll get a close up of that Sprocket.
It's a bit dirty, I apologise. It's hard to keep clean, obviously, being flings oil and
Oh yeah.
grease and stuff everywhere.
Yeah. That is so cool.
Yeah, they're very, like, I know people will say you can't, for the system to do both things, it's not ideal.
Oh,
And I'll agree with that, you know, to have your braking and your drive on the same, you know, rotor, it's not the best, but
it does the job clearly.
yeah, and it's more to conform with the aesthetic, the simple.
Yeah, it's not this isn't a performance
No.
bike.
No.
Clearly, this is a bike that you look at and it's make people go, holy shit.
Exactly.
Which is what I did when you first sent through the photo. I was like, holy shit! Nay, quick, come and have a look at this.
Oh, something that you probably didn't pick up on.
Yep.
Right-hand side shift. So like an early Euro bike. So you've got.
You know, there was a video in amongst those photos.
Yep.
And when you started it up.
Yep.
And I seen you do that, and then you took off, and I just thought, oh, you tapped the brake.
Yep. That's right side shift. So right side shift, left side brake takes a lot of getting used to.
Why is that?
So when
That's not an American thing.
No. So when the Sportster originally come out, they were to fight the Euro sport bikes in the 60s, and Euro bikes at that time were right-hand shift. So they wanted to compete with that market.
Oh.
I think it was 2 years after this, so in a 76 Sportster, America actually outlawed right-hand shift motorcycles, so that people weren't getting them.
Yeah.
So from there on, they went to left-hand side.
Yeah, right.
So this is one of the last ones. So,
Crazy.
as you'll see too, it's kickstart.
Yep.
No electric start. It's kickstart only.
She's old school.
Proper old school. And that was actually, I wanted that. I searched for one of these because you can actually get these that are both.
Yep.
You can get a kick and electric start. I decided I really wanted to suffer with it.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Well, I must admit, it looks really cool when you're kicking her over.
Yeah, it's definitely. You stand out in a crowd when you're the only guy there struggling to start a motorcycle. So, but yeah, that was a factor that I absolutely had to have. I really.
So what's this one?
So that's just an oil pressure gauge through the rocker arm.
Oh,
so this is.
And that's oil pressure just in the
This
tank.
is just oil temp.
Oh, temp.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Cool.
So probably more gauges than you need. A lot of guys will probably jump on and say I don't need this, and they'd be right.
Yeah.
These early Harleys are renowned for zero oil pressure, but they flow. As long as you have flow, that's you just need flow. So yeah, when you start this up cold, she goes straight off the gauge. Probably goes up to. I had a 60 psi gauge on it, which was way too much.
Yeah.
It went up to 30 or so in the cold when you start it. Once you ride it down the road a while, you drop right down to zero.
Yeah.
But that's just how they are. The bike has a brand new oil pump. It has a billet oil pump that we put on it, and that was a higher volume oil pump than the standard. So that is actually, it's getting more oil than it would have to begin with.
Oh, right, yeah.
So,
Crazy. How's the light at night time?
pretty terrible.
Yep.
Vibrates a lot. They're renowned for vibration, these bikes.
Yeah. Is that the light switch for it?
It is, yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oops, sorry, guys. There.
Which is a bit hard to reach forward and get, but that's okay. That was more of an afterthought. We sort of went, we better put a switch somewhere.
Yeah, but that's, I mean, you don't have any cable. That's the whole idea, isn't it?
Yeah, the idea is to
like
have as little as possible. So, I mean, my dream would be, and this will probably scare some people, my dream would be to have no front brake on the bike. That is how I'd like it to be, because the aesthetic of zero front brake is incredible.
Yeah, true.
But the brakes aren't sort of good enough, I feel, for me to be comfortable doing it.
So, what about legal?
Oh, no. No.
No,
definitely not.
So that's once you've got your roadworthy.
Yeah. In Victoria, yep, that's sort of...
You then make that change.
Yeah, same as no front fender.
Oh, of course, yeah, right.
Yep, no front fender. And that's... Look, I'm sure someone will say a legal reason why you should have it.
Oh, no, look, most police officers, if you're not layering around,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
can clearly see what type of bike this is.
Yeah.
It's a show bike.
Yeah.
You're not going to get pulled over unless you're trying to get.
You'd be surprised.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Or is it just for him to have a look?
Oh, I haven't been pulled over on this yet. Touch
Yeah.
wood somewhere.
Yeah.
Right there. But yeah, I think you're right. It's all about that, your attitude,
Yep.
mindset, how you ride. Stand out, but stand out for the right reasons. You know?
Exactly.
If you're riding in town, like, yeah, I ride a Harley, but I'm not going to be a pain in the neck. Sort of thing, you know,
Yeah.
You've got to be thoughtful of other road users, and not even road users, pedestrians, and all that kind of thing. And like I said, it doesn't stop all that great, so you've got to be on the ball.
Yeah.
You've got to be really thinking, and even you might even in an emergency, you might forget that the shifter's on that side, the brakes on that side. So you've got to be really got to be on the ball with it. So
Yeah.
yeah. What else did we sort of? This isn't the front end for the bike. So
Oh, no.
That's a front end out of a late model Harley Sportster. So that's probably a 2009 or 2010 front end,
Oh, right.
which we adapted to make fit. So to do that, we had to do custom neck cups into the frame. So that's those guys there.
Yeah.
Then we also ran into an issue where there was no way to stop the forks from hitting the frame. So it didn't have a steering stop. So what we found was there's a product that you can get. This lower neck cup actually has an inbuilt little stop in it, and then you drill some holes in your triple tree and mount this plate which actually has a guide in it for that stop. So then you have an internal steering so you can't see it.
Yeah.
Where originally these had a big block either side of the triple tree that hit another set of blocks on the neck of the frame.
Yeah.
And I just, being the aesthetic, that wasn't good enough. We had to make it clean. So that was stressful for me. I'd never done that sort of engineering thinking. Like, how do we solve this issue?
It was stressful enough for me when I was just doing the steering head bearings, just replacing them.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to stuff something up.
Yep.
Yeah, so doing what you're doing is like, holy shit.
Yeah. We sort of gave up on the being scared of things and went, well, we've got to do it. We'll just do it.
Yeah, that's it.
And see how it goes.
Right, so the paint job, why pink?
It's the $1 million question, isn't it? Why on earth does some guy want to paint his bike pink?
Because that's when you first showed it to me, I thought, oh, wow, that is cool. Pink? Okay, but it's cool.
Yeah.
Then when I seen the photos and
Yeah.
saw the original, I went,
Yeah.
so you can,
So the original bike was black frame, just stock black frame, but house paint pink, like it looked like it was rolled on, like it was terrible.
Yeah.
But it was already pink, and I was toying with ideas of different colours and everything, and I'll be honest, friends and family were, you can't change it. I'm like, well, I got to. It's pink, and they're like, no, you can't. The bike has, it cannot transition. This is who it is.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So we sort of decided to, leave the bike pink, but because I wanted it to be a showy bike, we did the whole frame. So the frame's been, completely rubbed back all over. All the, because they're rough cast in the neck, they're rough cast in the rears, they're rough everywhere, and it was really bad.
Yeah.
So my stepdad, he went crazy on the frame and rubbed everything back and, metal filled where he wanted it to be really nice and and even to the point like we removed a lot of material that was unnecessary. Up above the front rocker box in that gap there was a much larger piece of steel that sort of went like that, and it was really ugly. I love the exposed motor look.
Yeah.
So we got rid of that, and so him and I, we went to Bodyline, is it? The paint shop?
Oh yeah, Bodyline, yeah.
Near the pub, across the road from the Bottle.
Oh, right.
On the roundabout.
Yeah.
We went in and seen those guys, and we got the paint book.
Yeah.
We took the tint, the red tint book home.
Yeah.
So it was just the red tint book. Obviously, pink's a tint of red.
Tint of red, yeah.
So my stepdad and I, we were in the kitchen under the fluoro and the sink, flicking through and trying to work out what we wanted. And we nailed it down to sort of, I think it was three colour chips that we went for. and this one ended up being, what we would do is we wanted the bike to still be bright in the shade.
Yeah.
So I wanted to, if I go to a show with it, I don't want it to fade away if you happen to get put under a tree. Or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So we wanted something that still stood right out. So yeah, we'd take them from the light to the dark and see how much you'd lose in that brightness. And yeah, we settled on this one. And then my stepdad did a bit of a trick with it too. He used a white primer underneath to try and brighten the dark side of the colour.
Yeah.
So yeah, he did the hardtail and the frame, the oil tank, fender. Then he did the fuel tank itself. He got it to prime colour stage.
Yeah.
At that point, we gave the tank to another local guy. So heaps of local guys in the bike. We gave that to Glenn Quinton, GQ Design, and he did up the flames on there. He painted the flames on.
So did he hand do that, or does he?
Yeah. So we had sort of a bit of a meeting, just an impromptu meeting, and he just basically unbelievable this guy. I mean, he just starts. He gets out the fine line masking tape, and he just goes, all right, what do we want? And I had a bit of an idea of what I wanted, and I sort of told him, and then he just he just starts like this. It's like, what? You know, I can't draw a stick figure. This guy's like drawing flames with tape.
With tape,
like,
exactly.
And he sort of put a rough thing down and went, what do you think? I'm like,
done.
It's in your hands, man. That's it. That's done.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, even the way I actually come across how I wanted to do this bike was hilarious. I was at my girlfriend's house, and I was talking to her dad about how great Instagram and smartphones are, which is hard to sometimes get across to the older generation. And I said to him, this is great because look, I can find a bike that I really like, another chopper, and go, oh, but what if it was pink? So I screenshot this chopper on Instagram. I went into a photo editor, and it was a green bike. And I just slid the bar across until it went to this pink.
Yep.
And that was a similar style flame and everything, and the seat. And I just said to him, holy shit, that's it. That's what we need to do. And from there, that was it. It was the end of the story. That's how the bike was going to look. The style of flame, the colour, and from there it was all just get it to that.
It just works. You just look at this and it's an eye grabber. Yeah. Without a doubt.
We wanted it to be, Harleys are notorious for black.
Yeah.
You know, black everything.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to be, if you go to the pub, if you go to a show, you go anywhere, you park it next to a bunch of Harleys, and this is the one you see.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. I get that. I get that it's not to everyone's taste. No. But I wanted it to be, I guess in a way, a bit offensive. Yeah. Because that grabs you.
And it can be offensive to some people. Yeah, absolutely. There'll be people going, what the?
Oh, yeah.
Why'd you do that to that bike?
Oh, I mean, the hardtail alone, people say, why would you put yourself through that?
Yeah.
But it's all for that look. Mm. It's all to get rid of the swing arm, to get rid of the shocks, to get rid of
being
all
different.
of it. Yeah.
It's being different.
So yeah, that was just the goal we had in mind, you know, the image. We wanted that image of the 60s choppers, the crazy colours, the skinny handlebars, the big sissy bar, just all that kind of thing. And that's I think we sort of got there for my first one. I had a bigger front end for the bike.
Yep.
Actually, which you might have seen in the photo, you can flash a photo up of how the bike looked. It had a set of 8-inch extended forks in it. So the bike sat up like this, like it was great, and I may revisit it later. Yeah. But the problem with that is, I'd have to do another kickstand because the bike tries to fall over because it's so tall. And then the problem is because you've got to kick it. If you're somewhere in the dirt, the bike just sinks in the dirt and falls over. And unless you're very well versed at kicking it, and I'm not a big bloke. I need all the help I can get. So I decided, no. And I rode it with the stock front end because obviously to get it through a roadworthy, you can't have a giant front end. Our laws here, America, you'll be different. Wherever else some of the viewers will be, they'll be easier maybe to get a
Yeah,
bike
every
through.
country's different.
Exactly,
Every state in every country's different.
Exactly.
So you just,
And here they're very strict,
yeah.
which a lot of people probably don't realise because not everyone's doing something like this.
No.
So, you know, but yeah, I had this big front end, but the first time I rode it with this in it. And I went, this is grouse.
Yeah.
It's comfortable. I feel confident on it too,
Yeah.
which, you know, show
You gotta-
bike or not, you've got to feel
You gotta
comfortable
feel
riding.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what it was. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
And maybe revisit it in the future.
Yeah.
I'd love to one day maybe pull the front end apart and get the lower legs spun. So get get them put in the mill and have like a sort of like a texture. Like
Yeah.
Like a rib.
Yeah.
Put a rib in the
Ah,
fork
right,
legs.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe one day it'll get another set of fork legs. We never know.
Well,
It will
that's,
all
that's
depend.
the beauty of these things. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want.
And I will say that, as far as customisation goes, these are incredible
Yeah.
because they are simple.
Yeah.
You know, you're not worried about radiators. You're not worried
No.
about. You'll see, I don't have indicators.
Oh, you don't either.
I don't have blinkers. So there's another part of your loom that you don't have.
Yeah.
You don't have a relay. You don't have a flasher. There's a lot less to it. So if you want to do something like this, for a young guy, for an older guy that wants a project, to get into, always been interested in bikes, they are great in that sense because you can really let your mind go wild, I think.
Just get one that has a motor that needs no work done to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is tough. Really tough.
So going back to the blinkers,
Yeah,
so obviously that's illegal too.
no,
Oh, it's not.
no. So
Glad you said that.
No,
Brilliant.
so-
Tell me why not.
So this bike here in Australia and here in Victoria specifically,
Yep.
we have the Australian design rule.
Yeah.
Pre-74 bike wasn't required. ADR didn't exist until
Yeah.
74. So this bike didn't need indicators
So as
originally.
long as you
Yep.
do that, you're all sweet.
Yeah, which is fun.
Yeah.
That's an experience.
Does it have a brake light?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it has a brake light. It's got an LED. I think they're a built well tail light. Another tail light. That's another lowbrow part.
Yeah.
Great units. So they're the same bolt pattern on the rear as old Ford hot rod tail lights.
Ah.
So
right.
really easy to get them to fit anything.
Yeah.
So no indicators, which is interesting.
Yeah, and well, this is the thing. We all look on Instagram and Pinterest and YouTube, and we see all these custom bikes, and they look awesome. I do this when I'm doing the stuff, and you go, "Oh man, it looks cool." But then when we do it, and you go, "But you've got to have the number plate, and you've got to have these blinkers."
Yeah.
And you look at all those really cool ones, and when you look at them, you go, "You don't have any blinkers on it."
Yep.
Um,
Got no suspension.
yeah, there's no mud guard.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
So don't get me wrong. It's part of it is how much illegality are you willing to
to
take
risk.
on.
It's a gamble.
Yeah,
That's it.
The front fender to me is a must. You just for this bike to look how it does,
Oh,
you cannot have a front fender. They look
not even just a little.
nah, I can't do it. I can't do it. They just look awful. They look awful.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys aren't. A lot of motorcycle riders aren't about that. It's all about like with the enduros, with the long haul bikes. It's all about only things that work for the rider, make your life easier. Where this is the opposite. This is a lot of pain.
Yeah.
This motorcycle. The handlebars vibrate like no idea. The foot pegs vibrate like no idea. Solid mounted engine.
Yeah.
So you've got all this vibration of this big 1000cc old
That's
tractor engine.
Yeah.
But to me, that's
all part of riding something like this, isn't it?
exactly. That's what I love about it. They're characteristics that are. I've put this to other people. I think the reason you love a bike like this is they have very human qualities.
Yeah.
It doesn't want to go in the morning.
Yeah.
I don't want to go in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't want to run when it's hot. I don't want to run when it's hot. I don't want to run at the best of times.
Yeah.
So,
I don't run.
Exactly. So I think those qualities are very human. That flaw, that flawed
that's
feeling.
exactly,
You know?
that's it, yeah.
So it's very easy, I think, to develop a relationship with,
yep.
with the vehicle. It's
100%.
not, you know, you've got a bit of mechanical sympathy.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
you're like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It is hot. I don't want to do this either.
Does it actually have a name?
It does.
Yep.
The bike's called Pink Bits.
Pink Bits. Right, hey.
Which, take it as you will.
Well, that's it. It's
That's
got
the name
plenty
of the
pink
bike.
bits.
It does. And that was, I didn't name it that.
Oh, didn't you?
As the same as the colour, my friends and family, the people that know me, they went, oh, what are you doing with Pink Bits? I said, what are you talking about? And they're like, that's your bike. So it developed that name.
That's it,
so
yeah.
and it just stuck, you know.
Stuck, yeah.
I'd love to get it maybe. I'd love to. I've said to Glenn that I'd love to get him to maybe
Put a little.
old pinstripe, you know, in like a bone colour, like a light beige sort of thing. Do it on the oil tank there, Pink Bits, in like scroll, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I like the minimalist. I like that there's nothing that really forces your eye.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was the name of the bike got given.
Crazy. All right, let's get this bloody thing. Watch you start this thing.
Yeah, okay.
Cool.
Sure.
Rightio, guys. So before he starts this thing up, I'm going to have a sit on it.
Go for it, mate. Go for it.
Jeez, that's pretty easy, isn't it, eh?
Yeah. It's great for short people. You can touch
Oh my god. That is just doing. That is the weirdest. Oh man, how do you ride this thing? That is crazy. That.
I was really looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I've been.
You must feel like the coolest cat in town riding around.
I love it.
Yeah.
And I've got on my other bike I've got a set of. Sean made me a similar style bar, but not as narrow.
Yeah.
So I've been riding with narrower bars for quite some time. So it actually feels pretty natural to me now.
Yeah.
I get on something with wide bars and go.
Yeah. Can you hold the back so you can support
Yeah.
me? I just want to get both my feet up. Yeah, that's crazy. You can nearly. Do you do that often?
No. That's so uncomfortable.
That's very uncomfortable.
That's so uncomfortable. That rear seat is definitely not made for a human.
No, you get on a that seat makes the DR 650 stock seat
Look comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, what is that? Like 70 mil wide, maybe?
Yeah.
It's not.
It's going up your crack.
And you're right on the axle too.
Oh yeah.
Like when you look, you're directly over the axle, so
Yeah.
you're just going to cop anything that's there. But I enjoy. I've gotten accustomed to it.
Yeah, no, it's cool, weird, but very cool.
I actually find it's a very neutral position.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, because we're so used to this, right?
Yeah.
That I actually enjoy the.
Wow, that's lovely.
I actually enjoy sort of the. Yeah, because you've got, you know how like, being that we're both IT guys.
Yes.
We're told that the position of your hands is actually bad because these bones are twisted, right? So that's why you've got the stand-up mice and things, because then your arm is in that neutral position.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, because see then your two bones, they're twisting over on themselves. So that's why you'll use like a stand-up mouse and stuff. So what I find is this is actually more like that's how you normally ride a bike, where this you sort of You've got your elbows sort of in a mid spot, and you've got a very neutral position.
Yeah.
And like a lot of people like yourself, they go, "Oh, how do you ride that?" It's actually really comfortable.
That's the wow.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that's an internal throttle.
Yeah, that's.
So she pops out down here.
I've grabbed these guys.
Yeah, that's not something you see on a manufacturer. Well, nowadays you've got fly-by-wire.
Oh, right,
You've got fly-by-wire, so that you won't really see because it'll be in a cable in the bar. But in terms of an old cable throttle, yeah.
Yeah, that is sleek, isn't it?
Yeah.
Guys, you most probably missed half this. I mean, off camera we've been just going crazy on it.
There's a lot of...
But there's just so much that we can bloody do.
There's a lot of stuff to look at. A lot of stuff
just all the stories that you know, all the like little bits and pieces. Like you're saying, you've had so many problems.
Yeah. Oh, It's a roller coaster.
The roller coaster.
Yeah, because everything that you think should be no problem, on a stock bike it would.
Yeah.
But you've got to deal with problems of clearance, things don't fit.
Yeah.
Even to the point, aftermarket parts. So this bike originally, when I got it, this is your sprocket cover.
Yep.
And when I got the bike, it had an electric start sprocket cover on it. So you've actually, on an electric start bike, you've got a starter motor sitting in this hole. So it's got a relief for a starter motor. And I couldn't live with that. I didn't want anybody to think that it was an electric start bike.
Yep.
So I ordered that sprocket cover, which is why it's vastly different to the engine.
Yep.
And I'm assuming a Taiwanese made product probably.
Yep.
The kicker shaft here, the hole that they'd made for the kicker shaft was, I think it was 20 mil or something different to where the kicker shaft actually is.
Yeah,
So
right.
Jack actually had to machine up an offset bushing.
Yeah.
He had to drill the case out further and then make an offset bushing to accept the kicker shaft.
Yep.
So, and that's like the woes of aftermarket parts not actually being any good.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of that. We had, I think it was the sprocket shaft for the motor, which your main bearings ride on. We got it brand new in the box, and it was already pitted from being in storage. And once it was cleaned up, that pitting was enough that the engine builder's like, no, we're not putting brand new bearings on this pitted shaft. So it's a $350 shaft.
Yeah.
It's no good.
Yep.
So, yeah, a lot of stuff like that.
Righto, get old Pink Bits bloody...
We'll see how we go, hey? Hopefully we have a bit of luck. I'll just turn it over a bit first. See if we get action.
That is cool, eh? Whoa. It just sounds awesome.
It's part of the love.
Yeah.
Nothing else has that sound.
No. That is just magic. Well, there you go, guys. So that is the it's an Ironhead Chopper.
Yeah.
That's it. So there's no... Oh, you'll show me on the other side the X...
XLCH, yeah. So it's like your DR and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
XL is Sportster.
Yep.
That's like the frame designation for a Sportster. And then the CH was Competition Hot back in the day.
I like that. Competition hot.
That's what they were.
Brilliant. Cool. Absolute labour of love.
Oh, 100%.
It's brilliant. I just love it. And I love all the stories that you've got. And there's just... You can't shut the bastard up.
We could talk all night.
Yeah.
We'd get through a case of beer.
Yeah. That's it. All right, well, I'm going to shake your hand, man. Thank you very much for bringing
thanks for
that
having
over.
me, man.
That's awesome. I'm sure the guys have bloody loved looking at it and hearing what you had to say, all the bits and pieces. Absolute fantastic. Rightio, guys, remember, keep on riding, and if you ain't riding, keep on keeping on. I like the hand signal.
Yes. All right. That was bonus footage.